In today's video, we're talking about the EURUSD as we approach FOMC on Wednesday, and the DXY is testing a level going back to 2011, and the EURUSD is approaching a critical resistance level that, unless you know what you're looking for, it is kind of hidden, so you're going to want to stay tuned for this video to see exactly what to watch for on Wednesday. Now guys, if you want my help with your trading, including seeing my trades live, VIP-only videos, also daily market updates, real-time updates in Discord, and also the full course, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for full access to the VIP Discord and save 85% on lifetime access. If you're on the website, click on that Join VIP link. All right, guys, so EURUSD daily time frame. We are seeing the Euro breakout here just ahead of FOMC. So we're about 24 hours out from FOMC, and we are seeing the EURUSD breakout here above this high from back here in July. Now, technically, this high right now is an all-time high here for the EURUSD going back to September of 2021. So this is a big moment for this market, and it's also a big moment for this market because it is approaching a very critical level going back to 2022. Okay, so technically, guys, the top of this channel extends from the 2023 high. So looking here, this is the 2023 high. This back here is that 2022 low. You've got this low through here, and then you've got this high from earlier in 2025. So this is an equidistant channel. We've discussed this before, but this area up here, right around 1.880, that is going to be a must-watch level for the euro because this is going to be a significant resistance area for this market. Okay, now there's nothing to say that the market can't break out above this. However, again, it is going to be a significant test for Euro bulls, especially going into the FOMC on Wednesday. And like we talked about in yesterday's video, guys, markets are forward-looking. So what that means is that with the Fed potentially cutting rates this week, markets are going to price that in ahead of time. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from the euro, because if you look at the DXY, the US dollar index is also dropping so far this week. So what we discussed last week, this is the weekly time frame. And what we talked about in the weekly forecast was that a weekly close below 97.7 would open up potentially this area down here. So we got the weekly close below. Look what became resistance so far this week. This week's high is right off of 97.7. So far, this is exactly what we talked about in the weekly forecast. And now that we have the DXY approaching those poor lows, the unfinished auctions from back here in July. Now, another thing for the DXY, and I'm not going to spend too much time here because I want to flip back to the euro, cover that completely, and then we'll get back to the DXY. But the market is also partially filling in that lower wick from back here on this weekly candle. So we also talked about this in recent videos where oftentimes you see lower wicks like this become targets for a market, and we are seeing the DXY do that here today. All right, so looking back to the EURUSD, guys, let's complete this analysis first, then we'll get into the DXY. And if you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also hit that like button. I always appreciate it. All right, so the EURUSD we know is breaking out today. So key levels for FOMC, guys. The ones to watch here, in my opinion, are going to be, first of all, you have this unfinished auction back here, which has been satisfied with today's move. So we often talk about how these can be magnets for markets, and that was certainly the case here. Now, the area to watch going into FOMC, I'm going to snap this level right here to the daily close from back here on July 1st. Because in my opinion, this area through here, okay, so what you see here, 1.1788 all the way up to about 1.1806, this is going to be the support level to watch going into FOMC. So you've got these highs, this closing price back here, this high through here. This region is going to be key support for the euro, okay? So you're now looking at if the market can break above here today. And that's key too, guys. Don't forget that we still have several hours left in today's session. So the market here, the EURUSD, could technically close back below here, and this could stay intact as resistance. So keep that in mind. If it does close above, though, then we have support down here. We have resistance up here in this area. Okay, so this diagonal level that you see up here, this is the top of that channel that we just looked at going back to 2022 and 2023. Okay, so you've got resistance up here for the euro between 1.1880 all the way up to about 1.1908. So this is going to be your resistance level, support down here between those two levels we just talked about. Okay, so these are the areas to watch here. Going into FOMC, guys, for the EURUSD. And one thing to keep an eye on is if you are going to try to short this, not financial advice, just my opinion, but instead of just blindly looking for shorts up here, especially during FOMC, because of that volatility, it's always risky. One thing to watch is if we get a retest up here, and then we see the euro close back below here, okay, especially, breaking below that February trend line that we've talked about. Okay, something like this could set up a larger reversal for the euro. But of course, again, if we do get the market, consolidating up here, going into FOMC, and then eventually breaking out above this area on the high time frames, then that could, of course, send the euro even higher. Okay, so 119.08, let's just talk about this here before we go on to the DXY. This is the location of an equal highs back here in 2021. Okay, so you can see that back here in 2021, we do have these two highs. These are what are called equal highs, where essentially you had liquidity building above both of these. This high never took out this one back here. Okay, so we call these equal highs. A lot of times, these do get taken out by markets. So something to be aware of there going into FOMC. And that wouldn't be, all too surprising if we see the EURUSD actually extend above this area this week with that FOMC volatility. It wouldn't be that surprising to see the market actually take out areas like this and then potentially close back below and consolidate through here a little bit. Okay, so, just keep that in mind. But the bottom line, guys, resistance up here in this area, support down here for the euro. Okay, so looking at the DXY, this is a big test here for this market. Because look at the monthly time frame. This is that 2011 channel that we've discussed many times here on this channel and website. So you've got the lows back here in 2011. You've got these lows through here. You've got the lows over the past few months. Now, at the moment, the DXY is still range bound. Yes, it is in a downtrend. However, keep in mind that we did actually have a bullish engulfing candle on the monthly time frame back here in July. Now, what did not happen with this candle is we did not get a monthly close above it to confirm. Okay. And so right now, even though this is a bearish engulfing candle, technically, it is not a confirmed bullish engulfing candle. So what that means is that you're looking at a range here for the DXY. And like I've said recently, I think you've got to be really careful getting bearish on the US dollar into this 96.60 area because we've seen this before. And I get, guys, that the environment right now is completely different. I'm not challenging that. But at the same time, the last time the market came into this area, right, you can see it did the exact same thing, where we had the DXY come down here, test support, and then it essentially double bottomed down here, and then we got the range and the eventual breakout. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen the exact same way this time, but what I am saying is that you've got to be really careful as the DXY comes down here into this recent low on the monthly. So as it comes down here into 96.60, you've got to be just really careful getting bearish on the US dollar, especially going into FOMC. Okay, so, I'm not a fundamental trader, guys, but from a fundamental perspective, everybody pretty much expects the Fed to cut on Wednesday, but the big question mark there, the big variable is going to be what is Powell signal for future meetings? That's going to be the key and really the driver for the US dollar, in my opinion. But looking here at the DXY, what I think we probably see going into FOMC is right now with today's low, as I make this video, this low right here has not quite taken out those unfinished auctions from back here, okay? So what I think we could see is potentially the DXY taking out today's low here on Tuesday. So taking out this area, if we look at this, this comes in right around 96.75. So what I think we probably see going into Wednesday is potentially the market coming down here and taking out these two levels, maybe dipping below that 2011 channel support before we potentially get a bounce from here, okay? So one way to look at this with the DXY is if you are going to try to look for US dollar longs, in my opinion, you're always best waiting for the dust to settle following events like FOMC. There's just way too much volatility, guys, to try to trade through those events. And even if you get the direction right, the spreads can widen to the point where you're getting stopped out prematurely, and there's just no point to it. So looking at this area back here, what you could look for if you are interested in looking for US dollar longs following FOMC, not during, but following, you can look for the market to actually clear this area out down here on Wednesday and then drop below it and then potentially close a day back above, okay? That could be bullish for the US dollar. Something like that where we get the push down here into this lower wick and then the reclaim up here of this key level, okay? So instead of just blindly buying down here and hoping for the best, you're essentially waiting for confirmation to prove to you that bulls are regaining control from this area down here, okay? So that's what I'm looking for right now, guys. I mean, you got the DXY coming down here into key support. I am not in a hurry to buy this market just yet. I want to see what bulls do down here following FOMC. The same thing with the euro. I want to see what the euro does up here at this channel resistance and also that key level, that key horizontal around 119.08. So I would love to see the euro actually take this out and give me a fake out from here to potentially either play the range or give us a larger top here. But again, if the euro does break out from here following some consolidation, then that, of course, could be bullish for the euro. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see, guys. But all I know right now is that the top of this channel, if you look at this on the weekly, again, I'm going to wrap up here. If you look at this on the weekly, guys, this is a significant moment for the euro because you've got these equal highs from back there in 2021 that could get swept, but then you've also got this channel to deal with, right? And the market approaching the top of that channel where it was rejected earlier in 2025. All right, so keep a really close eye on this area right around 119 for the EuroUSD. as we head into FOMC. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope it helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Also, join us in VIP. Check out the link in the description of this video for 85% off. I will see you on the inside. Trade well, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.